Hola a todos, estoy aquí para comunicaros que
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Samaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Ready? Play.
Is, as Vansh mentioned, Gauff Sabalenka. And that much, we already talked about Wuhan and how Coco was up there. And basically, she just double faulted her way to a loss. Now in the group stage, I guess she played okay without like fireworks, but obviously getting the win over Świątek, her second win against Igara was massive. Today, the loss, I know that some people will be suggesting that, she might have thought, oh yeah, Świątek out of the tournament, I should lose. But that's really not true. Obviously, she wouldn't want to play Sabalenka in the semis. And in that sense, the best way for Gauff to kind of fix the result there would be to lose 1-2, even though I don't think she would, I don't think she would ever do that. But maybe your mind can kind of toy with you in a way. But anyway, yeah, that definitely didn't happen. She's going to play Sabalenka here. No one wants to face Aryna, but after Wuhan recently, I guess, there's reason to be confident.
Yeah, and both these guys had the same situation, right, where they went 2-0 and then they kind of didn't play their best in the third match. They came up against a pretty, at various stages, a peaking opponent. So it's going to be it's going to be intriguing because I would be surprised if this match is not close, actually. Gauff Sabalenka. I'd be pretty surprised. If Aryna won it in very easy straights, I'd be surprised. Same, obviously, the other way. I think it's going to be really competitive.
I guess so, yeah. They've played some fast-court matches this year, right? Wuhan, Australian Open, and they were pretty close.
I assume the odds would be closer than Krejcikova Zhang.
Pretty much the same. Sabalenka is a similar favorite as Zhang.
I don't know if I'd have Sabalenka that high of a favorite right now, but
I think that Sabalenka should be the sort of favorite that she is, so 1.5. But Zhang Krejcikova kind of surprised that it's like that. I mean, I think Aryna is clearly the favorite. No one can actually come in and say that Coco is the favorite, but is she live in that match? Obviously, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I think about it as well. I think it's pretty close though between them. I'll go slight edge Aryna in that one.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I'm totally fine with that. And well, I mean, if someone is able to beat Sabalenka, we kind of said that maybe even Gauff or Krejcikova have the better matchups. So if Sabalenka and Zhang would land in the final, which the two favorites, then probably we would favor Aryna. I mean, we would favor Aryna against Barbora as well, but it would be probably more intriguing if the Krejcikova random picking continues. But yeah, should be a couple of pretty close semifinals. But is, as Vansh mentioned, Gauff Sabalenka. And that much, we already talked about Wuhan and how Coco was up there. And basically, she just double faulted her way to a loss. Now in the group stage, I guess she played okay without fireworks, but obviously getting the win over Świątek, her second win against Igara was massive. Today, the loss, I know that some people will be suggesting that, she might have thought, oh yeah, Świątek out of the tournament, I should lose. But that's really not true. Obviously, she wouldn't want to play Sabalenka in the semis. And in that sense, the best way for Gauff to kind of fix the result there would be to lose 1-2. Even though I don't think she would, I don't think she would ever do that. But maybe your mind can kind of toy with you in a way. But anyway, yeah, that definitely didn't happen. She's going to play Sabalenka here. No one wants to face Aryna, but after Wuhan recently, I guess, there's reason to be confident.
Yeah, and both these guys had the same situation, right, where they went 2-0 and then they kind of didn't play their best in the third match. They came up against a pretty, at various stages, a peaking opponent. So It's going to be it's going to be intriguing because I would be surprised if this match is not close. Actually, Gauff Sabalenka. I'd be pretty surprised if like Aryna won it in very easy straights. I'd be surprised. Same, obviously, the other way. I think it's going to be really competitive. Like,
I guess so. Yeah, they've played some fast-court matches this year, right? Wuhan, Australian Open, and they were pretty close.
I assume the odds would be closer than Krejcikova Zhang.
Pretty much the same. Sabalenka is a similar favorite as Zhang.
I don't know if I'd have Sabalenka that high of a favorite right now, but
I think that Sabalenka should be the sort of favorite that she is, so like 1.5. But Zhang Krejcikova kind of surprised that it's like that. I mean, I think Aryna is like clearly the favorite. Like no one can actually come in and say that Coco is the favorite, but is she live in that match? Obviously, as well.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think about it as well. I think it's pretty close though between them. I'll go like slight edge Aryna in that one.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I'm totally fine.
Ready? Play.
Hello, everybody. Hello, James. How are you?
I am pretty good, pretty happy. As Rivalry is through to his first final since February last year, which is epic to watch. I'd say dispatched Mute blew hot and cold as he usually does, but I'm very happy because of that.
Cool. Cam Norrie into his first final in a fairly long time. Can Aryna Sabalenka or Coco Gauff get to their first final in probably 3 weeks or something like that? Of course, Gauff winning, I think she won Wuhan, didn't she? And Sabalenka, Gauff won a big title, and I think Go on.
Gauff was Beijing and Sabalenka was Wuhan.
Yeah, as I was saying it, I thought to myself, I got them the wrong way around. And indeed, I did. Gauff has got off to a fairly decent start on her serve. I am sure, by the way, James, that my stream will be behind yours. I just know it. I'm at 15 love with Coco and they're in a rally.
Oh, crikey. I mean, I would have thought I would have been on the slower one, given Sky Sports seems to be like 10 minutes behind what the actual action properly is. But I'm at 30-15 at the moment.
Yeah. I'm at 30 love now, but no, I'm on real slow sports news for sure. I've got Sky as well, but Sky Germany, for whatever reason, it is slightly different on the phone. I'll see if my phone is a bit quicker. Let me have a look.
Yeah, we'll just have John News. Welcome everyone as well who's in the chat.
Did you see any of the other semi-final? Obviously, I know Cam was playing at more or less the same time.
I watched the. I think it was from. I joined when Zhang was 3-1 up in the second.
Okay, because she was 3-love with a double break, and then Barbie got it back.
Yeah, and then it just became. And there was something on commentary, and it was something I picked up that Barbora was just able to read where Zhang was serving to it, even on the first serve, pretty much every single, which made it a real grind fest for Zhang to be able to Zhang to place. And like you say, she went from being a double break up to being 4-3 down at one point. But so much credit to her, really, for being able to then get through that match, really, and to be able to win in straight sets. Because a lot of players in those situations, when you've got somebody who is just suffocating you, taking away your biggest weapon and just leaving you with, your ordinary elements to your game, you could end up just crumbling in that situation. And it could have easily been, Barbora winning the second set tightly, and then it going to a third, and it being quite comfortable for Barbora. Somebody who it's probably been the biggest surprise of the WTA finals, really. A rank outsider, somebody who never really hasn't won a match since Wimbledon and only really got into the competition because she won Wimbledon. For her to then win her group, beat the players that she did beat, and to then take Zheng as, you know, somebody who's in red hot form really at this stage, you know, of coming off the back of you know, winning or getting to the final in Wuhan and winning Tokyo. To be able to then take her as tight as she did. I mean, it's been, you know, Barbora will be able to take away a lot of positives from this, certainly from this week, and Zheng just continuing that form and seeing what she can do in the final now, really.
Yeah. Coco gets off to a decent start, holding serve to 30 anyway. She'll be keen to eradicate the double faults that have come and gone through this tournament. Against Pegula, they were pretty much non-existent. They certainly appeared against Iga at times, and also against Barbora at inconvenient moments. And against Barbora in the last match, of course, she could have avoided this particular encounter if she'd won that match and would have ended up playing Qinwen Zheng, arguably an equally tough opponent for Coco. We just don't know. What I will say is that I think in terms of the final, potentially, Coco against Zheng could go either way. Aryna against Zheng seems to have a problem with that, which is a pity because she doesn't seem to have a problem with pretty much anyone else on the planet right now.
No, it does seem to be it's Sabalenka that's the bogey woman in this in Zheng's arsenal in terms of a player that she has to play. I mean, yeah, from that, certainly as you point out there, from that competitive standpoint, you know, we would certainly want tomorrow to be a competitive final, and on paper that would be a Coco Zheng final. That would be very competitive, whereas, you know, we've seen what Sabalenka versus Zheng is, because that literally was the first match on the first match on the first day, and that was just quite a pasting from Sabalenka on Zheng. And you say it's a big question. Is she gonna? You know, she was able to run it close in Wuhan, mainly down to the fact that the crowd was almost like they usually in the football they call it the 12th man. In tennis, you probably would call that the third serve, probably maybe as a as that sort of backing to Zheng to be able to get her to at least be competitive in that match and really put pressure on Sabalenka, but in a more neutral atmosphere, and that will happen in Riyadh. You probably would still favour Sabalenka to potentially do it quite comfortably tomorrow if that ends up being the match.
Yep, of course, a lot of tennis to be played between now and then. Jake, by the way, in the chat asking how I am. I'm sure he wants to know how you are as well, James. But first of all, I'll address this question. I've had an action-packed day, Jake. It started at 7:30 this morning with a visit to the dentist. That wasn't an emergency visit. It was already planned at 8 o'clock. So it wasn't like I woke up and had a terrible emergency, fortunately. By the way, Sabalenka was 40 love up here, and it's now back to 40-30. So a little bit of concern.
Oh, yeah, we're now exactly even.
No, I'm seeing the scoreboard. You're still 20 seconds ahead, maybe 30. Which is why I'm not commentating.
I'm sure one of these days there's going to be two people on one of these streams, and we're all going to be at the exact same point with our TVs.
We're in the same room, yeah. I mean, I have shared my feed with people, one or two people in the past, and that's helped. Oh, that was a bad forehand from Sabalenka. It was a 1-2 basically. She should have put away, and now she's in a spot of bother. But yeah, Jake. So I started my day by going to the dentist. Then I had to, what did I do? Oh yeah, then I had a plumber. I had a real action-packed day. I had a plumber come to my house to fix something. Again, it was planned, but pretty important because plumbers come and go pretty quickly, so you can't turn them down. Then what happened next? Oh, I went to work, and that was the usual stuff. And now I'm home, and yeah, I'm ready for the weekend, including the tennis that's happening, both the tail end of the WTA finals and, of course, the beginning of the ATP Tour finals. Jake, what about your day? And anyone else in the live chat can fill us in. And James, how are you?
My day. So I spent all this morning, as you know, I'm a college teacher in a proper job, as they would say. And I've been spending all morning marking. So that's been very fun to try and get through as many different assignments as possible. Following that, it's just been the case of having some lunch and then watching the great Cameron Norrie do his bit in an indoor hard court for the first time ever in his career. No, but so probably not as action-packed as yours, John. Is your teeth okay? You're nothing too major?
Yeah, a couple of things. I needed to get my latest batch of aligners. That these are the things you sort of wear on your teeth. They're sort of a modern day brace, basically, and you can remove them and take them out. So that's the convenience of them. By the way, Gauff has seen a break point come and go, but yeah just a little bit of chipping away at the teeth as well. But go on.
Yeah, I was just saying it was a very good serve out wide on that on the ad side from Sabalenka, and Gauff was unable to get any real connection onto the return. But she's certainly looks irate, Sabalenka. She's gesturing to a team that there's a lot of chatter and a lot of noise.
Yeah.
She's not exactly in the best of headspaces. I mean, I know there's the big thing, of course, for her was that, coming into the tournament, it was all about her getting the, year-end number one and getting that sort of locked in. And now that has been locked in, how much, where is her motivation levels going into the semi-final and final to try and win the year-end finals, really, because quite understandably it could dip, and somebody like Coco Gauff would love to be able to sort of take advantage of that.
Yeah, she's doing all this. I don't know what that was all about. You think it was about crowd interference?
It could be crowd. It could be a team maybe just giving her too many instructions, and she's like, just shut up.
Yeah, that was my initial thought.
Ooh, brilliant half volley there by Sabalenka to get the to save another break point.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 minutes, all right, James? But I'll be backstage throughout.
So, like I say, just reduce at the moment. So Sabalenka with throws the ball in there, goes cross court, forehand by Gauff, goes long, very good serve there by Sabalenka, gives her advantage as she looks to try and at least hold the first game of the match. Isn't it good to see as well? And there's been a lot of complaints about, I'm sure it was what John, about the crowd numbers. There seems to be a fair more people in the stands this weekend, which is a positive sign. Another one out wide by Sabalenka, down the tee as she goes. Gauff just gets to it all, but a really poor volley at the net by Sabalenka just goes into the middle of the tram lines, so that takes it to deuce. I don't know if she felt her side there a bit. I'm hoping there isn't any injury issue. But this is certainly not being an easy one. I mean, if you were, some of you may have remembered, they played each other in the I think it was in the semi-finals in Wuhan. And to be honest, Gauff should have won that match. She was quite strongly ahead in I believe it was either the second or the third set, and was in a commanding position to win that contest. And she kind of just gave it away back to Sabalenka, and Sabalenka was able to come through that and then, of course, go win the title by beating Zheng in the final. So, certainly at the moment, Gauff is finding ways to live with Sabalenka at this part of the season, but she just hits a forehand just long of the baseline there. Sabalenka is back to advantage. As I say, it's turning into a really tricky start to this contest. Just checking where she's going to go serve. I did, and we'll. It's good to see Texas' favorite coach Super Dave in the chat. That's good to see. As a good thing from Coco, but then Coco gets pushed a little further back on the next Sabalenka return, and it only goes into the net. So it is one game apiece. So they're both split games at the moment early in this thing. And I think I did see Jake. You did ask about this. Is a Red Bull t-shirt suits me. Thank you. It's a very nice shirt. I got it on a good deal a few years ago. And although I end up having a fossil fuel company on here, which I'm not entirely pleased about having on me, it's still a pretty neat shirt to be able to wear. This is very comfy as well. Gauff tries to go down, or tries to do a body serve there, but it goes into the net, so there was no luck. It goes, just in on that one there, but that isn't no from Gauff, so that is a love 15. It was a very tight to the line serve from Gauff. Sabalenka got a good purchase though on the return, and it went right to the feet of Gauff. He was unable to get any real control and just wildly hit it into the middle of the tram lines on her forehand side. So love 15. Goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka, just lands in. Forehand by Gauff, cross court by Sabalenka, but it goes into the tram lines. Quite wild there from the Belarusian, so that takes it to 15-all. So it just very much feels at the moment it's a game where both players haven't necessarily settled into their rhythms potentially yet. Not necessarily finding maybe as many first serves, or when it comes to the rallies, finding their eye of where the ball needs to land. So it goes in the middle, forehand by Sabalenka, sliced by Gauff. Into the tram lines, though, there just veered away quite dramatically into the tram lines at that point. So 15-30, so a bit of a half chance here opening up for Aryna. So she goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Gauff, just goes over, sliced by Sabalenka, forehand by Gauff, but into the net. So the first lot of breakpoint chances for Sabalenka have popped up. She's got two here. It is 15-40. A lot of mistakes coming from the Gauff racket at this stage. We're not necessarily seeing blinding winners, which is what we want to see, but. Good one there for Sabalenka to get to that. Gauff comes forward, goes in the middle, back up forehand by Sabalenka. She just comes to it, tries to go cross court, just hits it into the middle of the net, and he does the splits in the attempt to reach that ball. So that is the first break point chance gone. It's good to see Jake say Mute tried everything to get under Norrie's skin. Norrie dealt with that very well, and tense behind forehand was very impressive. It certainly was. It was a very tricky match, and it was really awkward at points. Forehand by Sabalenka, forehand by Gauff, long of the baseline, and that is the first break secured, or the first break in the match, and it goes to Aryna. That now means she is 2-1 in the lead. Could this now mean that she would settle down a bit into the match? You never know. I'm sure Gauff, who probably felt like she had a good bit of control in those first couple of games, will be annoyed that she's now down a break, especially on this surface where the ball's flying quite a fair bit. I know it's been noted that there's a bit of altitude here in Riyadh, so it's balls are flying a little bit further. So you're not going to be able to. So you need to really make sure that you've got a good amount of control on the ball. So what's been said? So Dave's saying, so what are the odds that both players get yips on their serves in the same match? We know that it can still happen for Gauff, but haven't seen it from Sabalenka. You never know. It's such a big occasion, such a big match. Players may start to get a little bit yippy. I mean, for Sabalenka, I would doubt that she would, just given that she's got so much big match intensity. She knows how to. She's been through a lot of huge matches very recently, and a lot of them, and she's not had the yips, or she's not played poorly. So I'm sure she'll be taking the same mindset into this match. I think it'd be very unlikely that we would see a continuation of a poor performance from Sabalenka in this contest here. Probably better chance for Coco, just because we have seen in some big matches when it gets tight, certainly against big players, that she can falter at points, and I'm sure she won't want to do that. What else we got? Saying as well, I was watching the beginning of that one, Jake. Norrie looked good, and his forehand was firing. It certainly was. He's certainly going to go into that final tomorrow. I know we're talking about this one here, but me and Norrie. I'm sure he's going into that final tomorrow, feeling good and confident. Sabalenka goes down the tee, forehand by Gauff, up the line by Sabalenka, but into the net. So love 15 already. I'll say already, but it looks as though Sabalenka, there's an attempt here to maybe try and consolidate. But it's just going on here. So Sabalenka here, just wanting to make sure she doesn't let Coco back in there. She's got a lead at the moment. Goes down the tee, forehand by Gauff, forward by Sabalenka, just goes cross court, down the line by Gauff. I mean, that's a beautiful down the line slot. Sabalenka just caught in absolute no man's land, right in the middle of the court, and Gauff just does a brilliant backhand, quite caresses it down the line to make it love 30. So already a half chance for now Gauff opening up here. We haven't really seen as like a strong Sabalenka serve yet in this service game. So she goes ball into the air, goes across court, and just goes long. So second serve, so a real chance here for Gauff to get back into this one. So ball into the air, goes on the line, backhand by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka, backhand by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka. Right in the middle of the court, these two are going at it, straight down the center. Oh, now we've got a bit of cross court action, really taking place from both players. Stretch by Sabalenka. Gauff's kind of in control, goes down the line, backhand by Sabalenka, just into the corner, backhand by Gauff, slice by Sabalenka, just lands in, forehand by Gauff. No, it was called out on the ball from Sabalenka, so that makes it love 40. So 3 breakpoint chances have opened up for the American. It doesn't look like she's able to, capitalize on the break that she's got. It's going to be a tight one to try and get back from here. It does look very dominant, Dave. I certainly agree with you on that one. It's she's living with Sabalenka, and actually she's making Sabalenka look like the weaker player at points here. I say weaker in terms of on that forehand exchange, pushing Sabalenka a little bit further, making a stretch more. Sabalenka goes cross court, backhand by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka cross court, wildly cross court, and that's the break back secured. So 2 breaks back to back, meaning we're back to 2 games apiece. 2 games apiece. So just take some water on. This is no one player is really taking control at the moment. I mean, like I said, it feels at the moment like Coco's potentially made the better start, barring that service game she was broken on. But you can never count out Sabalenka just warming herself into the match. Cross court by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka, slice by Gauff, backhand by Sabalenka, but straight to Gauff, who's able to put it away with a brilliant forehand volley. Forehand cross court volley. So 15-love. So better start to this service game than it was in the previous service game. And Dave's saying I've already seen forehand sliced approach, which worked. Okay. I mean, but she can bring it. If she can bring it now, this should be like it don't matter. That's the best time to be able to bring it. Okay, just so Gauff getting himself ready. Ball in the air, goes down the line, forehand by Sabalenka, perfectly put away. She almost though she's teed up that one for Sabalenka, Gauff there. So that now makes it 15-all. So danger isn't still ever present. Sabalenka is always there, always potentially a lot in your return games or your service games. Backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka, just slightly short on that one. Slice there by Sabalenka, just goes over, slice by Gauff, but into the net. Ooh, okay. So from Sabalenka now, half chance opened up. Half chance has opened up here. Not being too deterred from the previous service game being lost to love. She's determined to get this break back. Cross down the line, forehand by Sabalenka, just goes long on the baseline, so we are to 30-all. She did well to try and reach that from a first serve from Gauff, but it just went slightly long. Yeah, and just Hawkeye just pointing out that it was around about a very small amount out on that ball there. Goes cross court, forehand by Sabalenka for Gauff, just down the tee, backhand by Sabalenka, just gets to it, forehand by Gauff, backhand by Sabalenka, just goes long. She was kind of in control, but kind of not in that point. So Gauff here with the 40-30 to take back control of the lead, or take control of the lead in this set. Just bounce the ball and getting herself ready. So just overhit over the top of her head there. Gauff goes over, goes into the net. So second serve. Maybe we're going to get the serving yips are potentially a bit here. Ball up into the air. Goes cross court, backhand. Oh, no, just obviously just clip the net. That would have been a let cord. So we've got another second serve here. Goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka at the line, forehand by Gauff. Sabalenka comes forward, goes for the slice into the net, and that there is the hold for the American. Weird point to hold. I couldn't agree with you more there, Super Dave. That was an incredibly weird point to hold. But that now means that Coco Gauff, 3-2 in the lead at the moment, and you probably would say the in the more commanding position in this match. Lee seems to have a little bit more control over what she wants to do, not making nearly as many mistakes as Aryna, as I'm getting an advert for the Grand Slam of darts on my TV. That's always good. That should be a very good tournament, to be honest. And then, well, anyone else put anything else in the chat? I don't see any popping up just yet. And just anyone who knows some of the tennis results that have popped through again today in Belgrade. We probably Denis Shapovalov was imperious by the looks of it, beating Yuri Lehechka, which is a bit of a surprising result given how good Yuri Lehechka's season has the potential to be. 6-2, 6-1 from Shapo, and at the moment they are deep in a third set between Laszlo Djere and Haddad Medjedovic. Medjedovic took the first set 6-2. Laszlo Djere took the second set 6-3, and it's currently 6-5 on serve to Medjedovic in the second set. Of course, in Riyadh, we just discussed at the top of this stream. But Kunmin Zheng was able to come through Barbora Krejcikova 6-3, 7-5. Quite a tight second set to book her place in the finals of the final of the WTA finals, which is going to, of course, be taking place tomorrow against the winner of whoever's in this match. And then the match we discussed, Norrie beating Corentin Moutet in straight sets as well in Metz earlier on today as well. So all the first matches from all the tournaments taking place this week have happened, and we're all in the middle of the second matches now. Matthew saying, it's good to see in the chat, Matthew. Coco has learned from the Sinner mistake last year when he had the chance to eliminate Novak but didn't take it. She's winning this whole thing. Oh, right. That's the one you're going for. Taking Iga out, not winning that one there, as Coco hits a brilliant cross-court forehand there, and Sabalenka just bums it into the net. And Super Dave saying Coco winning the kit battle. Oh, we got you thinking going for a bit of a war thing there. You got like a royal purple for Coco, and a sort of like very much like a charcoal black for Sabalenka. Goes cross court from Sabalenka, just slightly wide, so that's a second serve.
Back with you, James. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
So what did I miss? Because my eyes were averted doing a couple of things. There's a video I'm just uploading now regarding the Zheng match, of course. Zheng awaiting the winner of this after her straight sets win over Barbora Krejcikova. But what have I missed in the last 2 or 3 games?
You missed a lot of mistakes from Sabalenka. And
Okay.
Gauff just being solid as a rock at this stage. In terms of not making that many mistakes and driving Sabalenka into making those mistakes. I think one of the things that was certainly picked out was that on the forehand-to-forehand exchanges, Gauff is living with Sabalenka at the moment, which is something we've not normally seen in their matchups. Usually Sabalenka is the one who's in main control. But this time around, it's even very much like nobody seems to be in main control when it comes to those forehand-to-forehand exchanges. But Gauff's slightly leading it actually at points.
Yeah. I saw, again, a little bit of frustration from Aryna, a little bit of variety from her as well. To be fair to Aryna, really, given the sort of tension that seemed to be written all over her body language 2 years ago, probably winning a couple of slams and some big other titles in the meantime probably helps. But she doesn't seem to be cutting the same tense figure that she did 2 years ago.
No.
I remember exactly 2 years ago her going into the WTA finals, and she got to the final and it was a super close one. Bearing in mind at this point, that would have been the biggest, match of her career, really. It was a WTA finals final. This is a few months before, of course, she won in Australia. And it was a tight loss that she had against Caroline Garcia in that final, but it was a loss all the same. So, she beat Iga, I think, in the semis, so she sort of took a step forward in that respect. But wow, 2 years on, it's a very different story.
I mean, she certainly will probably feel with the conditions that an indoor hard court would suit her down to the ground. But what a forehand from Gauff there! It was literally a great backhand straight to the feet of Sabalenka, and then he was just able to punt it back really, and then it was so short, ran up the court from Gauff straight down the line. A presto! Gauff is looking for that next break to get herself a break point up.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what, it's just been such an impressive week from Coco Gauff. I mean, beating
I agree.
Iga Swiatek, somebody who basically, you know, no offense to Coco, but Coco's been like Swiatek's pigeon in the top of the game in terms of the amount of times in
forehand
which.
winner there from Coco. I mean,
yeah,
three forehands now we just mentioned. It was a great forehand that you mentioned that led up to the forehand winner from the previous game. Oh, wow, I see. You're watching this point. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a point ahead. Yeah. But anyway, either way, yeah, it's unusual for us to say the forehand firing as much as it is. Clenched fist, and we've got some great points.
Super Dave is talking about the jewelry.
From?
Whoa, come on. Is she going at the line? Cross court. Cross court again. Cross court from both of them. Really stretching each other here. Oh, into the net though by Coco. She was really defending, grinding well in that point. She just at the point it kind of the way in which that rally kind of then slowed down, just stopped, caught Coco off guard. And she just pins it in the net.
Yeah. So 2 great points come and gone. Coco, of course, in that match that we mentioned in China from a few weeks ago, had very many opportunities. It was a very close third set, but double faults ultimately letting her down. But she had chance after chance after chance. And there, she was pretty much at neutral in that rally when she put that. She did have to sort of slightly change directions, perhaps, which may have put her off a little bit. But anyway, 3-all deuce.
Juice.
3-2 deuce. Apologies. As I said 3-all, I thought, John, just have a quick look at the score because it might be 3-2. Because it was showing a replay on my TV, so I didn't see the score.
Oh, again though, the ball just Sabalenka decelerates the ball and it catches Coco out.
Okay.
I'm also keeping an eye on the tiebreaker between Laszlo Djere and Mladenovic as well. It's in the third set. Deciding set tiebreaker. 3-love at the moment to Mladenovic.
Good to see some of the regulars in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button.
Sabalenka here going to hold. I mean,
I've just seen the deuce point that gets Serena to advantage. And actually, Coco was on top of that rally. But again, the forehand into the net after I was praising the forehand. But that is the thing with Coco, isn't it? It's, 2 or 3 forehands in a row doesn't change a lot. That was a bit of a tricky one, that one. And a big hold there, right?
Big hold there, just to keep on in there, Yeah,
it did end in a bit of a whimper, didn't it? 4 points in a row going the way of Aryna, but Aryna might even admit to herself that she didn't have to do a huge amount to save those break points.
To get that.
Anyway.
Yeah, to get that done. Can Aryna now just be able to sort of take this quite tight hold and then maybe encroach on the Coco serve, or she can hit a forehand like that?
The questions regarding Qinwen Zheng that we had sort of post Australia. It's funny we had questions because she's just had the best tournament of her career. But there was sort of maybe more questions than answers after the Australian Open run, right? I mean, I know Marta Kostyuk, for example, was pretty outspoken in April about Qinwen Zheng's run to the final, even naming Qinwen, not just saying some people get, relatively comfortable runs to slam finals. She was comparing it to how stacked the final, the draw was in Stuttgart, where I think it was 9 out of the top 10 players there. And of course, going on to lift that title was, a very, very big ask. And she was saying that arguably more of a big ask than winning a Grand Slam. And then she mentioned the Qinwen Zheng run from Australia, where did she beat Yastremska in the semi-finals, maybe? Which gives you a slight idea.
People wondering if Shramska was going to be the next Emma Raducanu in terms of a qualifier winning the tournament.
Yeah. And playing an aggressive game a bit like Emma too. But yeah, and then of course the beatdown that she got in the final, which never felt competitive, sort of added, of course, to that. If she makes that final competitive, then you almost forget about the run. But whatever, anyway, I feel a sort of a headline from today almost. Given the sort of nature of this competition, we've obviously got the best 8 players of the year, and there she is in the final. And the second half of the season, there's a case to say that she's been the second best player in the world since Wimbledon. So, yeah, so she sort of slayed that almost. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a key. I can understand why those questions were asked, but then you've also got to look at the fact of, where is she in the context of her career? And this isn't just some 28, 29, 30-year-old that's managed to get a bit of a jammy draw in the Australian Open to be able to make a deep run. This is somebody who is one of certainly I think still under 21, or I don't know if I'm getting wrong or right on that one.
21, but yeah, but let's say very, very early 20s, at the beginning of her career.
Yeah, beginning of her career. So she's still seen as a promising talent, and and as a promising talent, having that big run that you can get at a slam, just to be able to really, let the world know, but also show to your competitors that you are serious you're not just some flashy youngster who's gonna, maybe do quite well to get into a semis of a 250 somewhere. You are actually here for the big titles and the big contests. It's almost as if she was able to use that run to show that under those because people expected, I think by the time in which she won a second round match against Bolter, that everyone had the draw had pretty much at that point fallen apart, or certainly by the next day, and she was seen as the favourite to come through that section to get to the first of all the semis, but then also to the final. The marker of a young talent coming through is if you get given that sort of run and those expectations get applied to you, go and actually do it. And she did it, and that's a real marker of the fact of the type of player that she was definitely going to become. And of course, it makes sense for her to potentially, after such a big tournament, to have a few, for it not to have gone so well in the Asian swing and then on to Indian Wells and whatnot. But as you said, then it just takes time then to be able to recover from such a huge run and such a huge rush. And she did so, and then she went on and won the Olympics, which was huge. Really showing a versatility on a lot of surfaces, and then goes on to do what she's done in terms of getting to the finals and all the stuff in China and holding on and winning the Tokyo title. I mean, she's very much what you kind of expect from those youngsters was what happened after the Australian Open, but she has she has shown that she is here to be one of the main players on the tour, and it's fantastic to see.
I'm trying to think of a word. Maybe someone in a live chat can help me, or maybe the word I've got in my mind will suffice. She's kind of slayed the doubters. Oh, just look at a drop shot there, but it hasn't worked out as a winner, but it has set her up. Sabalenka, by the way, just before I come back to that, has cut a bit of a frustrated figure, even though they are on serve. She looked pretty annoyed at the way the last game went. But there's some variety here from Aryna, which, listen, whatever happens today, she's going to reflect on the best season of her career and the best season of anyone on tour this year, of course, and hence she's world number one. But one of the main reasons for that is this little bit of variety that she's adding to her game. We saw a sort of forehand slice drop shot from her there, and we saw her drop shot her way, arguably, to the title in New York. So I'm loving it. And it's going to help her on the other surfaces, well, particularly clay, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's the next that is the next big challenge for her, really. So she's certainly mastering. I mean, you wouldn't say she has properly mastered, because you would need to have a couple of years of just complete dominance on all the hard courts.
I mean, she's got Inga to deal with. That's the problem. It's like anyone on the men's tour.
The next step for her is to then go to the clay and to then take it to the Queen of Clay, or certainly the Princess of Clay. I don't know what our title is really just yet.
Queen, I think it's fair.
Queen is fair. It then start to take it to her, and it's not just about just being able to take it to her in Madrid. It's about being able to take it to her in Rome or Stuttgart, or and then
exactly.
The big one, or the big one in. If she could beat Świątek in Rome or Stuttgart, that would make people sit up.
Yeah.
On
I
the
think
clay and go,
Rome probably more
right.
than Stuttgart, just because Stuttgart's indoors, so there's that sort of
Yeah,
slight
fair point on that one.
working
But
factor.
Rome, for example, because it was such a disappointing. I mean, it was the rematch that it was brilliant to get like the rematch. It felt like one of those boxing contests, but it's been such a great first bout. People loved it. It was so close, and then it was like, right, we want the rematch, and we got the rematch, and then it turns out to be one of those terrible rematches where it's just so one-sided. That's kind of what we got with that situation in Rome, and we want a Rome final where it's tight, it goes to 3 sets, it's really long, there's lots of breaks, there's lots of breaks, there's breakpoint chances, there's save, there's some that get taken, get broken back. There was none of that, and a lot of winners, not that many unforced errors, but there was none of that in that Rome final. And I think there's certainly a world, and there's.
First time we've had a quick hold, from Sabalenka. Just first time for a while, because as that stat just showed, basically Aryna is taking almost double the time to hold as Coco. Go on, continue.
No, it was just that's the place that we would need to. That's almost like the place we need to get to now, which is Sabalenka, who I think has the ability to win a French Open.
I agree,
but she needs to just needs to, as you say, take that variety into a game to go and cross the line there. And what a huge thing that would be for the certainly for the rivalry between Swiatek and Sabalenka if Sabalenka could do that. And of course, I think the one thing that will probably annoy Sabalenka the most is that she hasn't got that Wimbledon title yet. She's certainly got the game. She's certainly got the game to be able to get the Wimbledon crown in her hands, but she just hasn't. It just hasn't come together either through illness or injury or bad form. It's I just find it's absolute surprise that she hasn't won Wimbledon yet.
Oh, a lovely forehand winner there from Coco. Yeah, no, there's I mean, listen, my goodness me, if she doesn't win a Grand Slam, if she doesn't win a Wimbledon title, well, that would be like Medvedev not winning a hard court title in a way. I just think that she's so primed to win that title. That
you can already see her holding up the trophy at some point.
She's got it. I mean, it would be for me, it'd be a travesty if she doesn't win Wimbledon at some point. Especially because of some of the misfortune that she's had. I mean, I'm thinking the shoulder injury she had this year. The last 2 years, but this year in particular, Wimbledon was just there to be won. And congrats to Barbora Krejcikova for winning it and Jasmine Paolini for being in the final. But boy, oh boy, Vondrousova was the final opponent last year. Now, of course, Sabalenka did lose to an inspired Angevin in the semi-final, but it was there for Sabalenka as well. I think was she up a set and a break, maybe?
She was.
She was.
And then,
3 sets against
Pliskova
as well in 2021.
Let's go there. I just give some score dates as well. Mladenovic has beaten Laszlo Djere.
Okay, that's in Belgrade. Isn't it? That's an ATP
Belgrade. That's
250, right?
250. Yeah, so that's Mladenovic's first final on the main tour, excluding the next gen finals in his career.
Oh, the word I was looking for earlier was maybe slay. So Zheng slays the doubters, dismisses the doubters, puts doubters to bed, puts the doubts. I'm just basically trying to say she stuck her finger up to them almost by these performances.
Zheng silenced the doubters.
Silences. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Anyone in the live chat can have an alternative. Let me know.
I can't think of a word. So as we currently say, we're 5-4 to Gauff at the moment. Got caught forehand, lovely the wide, just down the line from Sabalenka, just as though it looks as though the radar is slightly coming back. What's going on there? So Sabalenka goes cross court, backhand by Gauff, forehand by Sabalenka, forehand by Gauff. Oh, and then forehand long from Gauff there, just to seem like Sabalenka's got more control on a service game now.
Yeah. Yep, she held comfortably the previous game. As I said before, she had a few sticky service games, but now she's up 30 love here. This is kind of actually going the way I thought. Maybe Sabalenka was sort of looked a bit off color a little bit more than I expected, but yeah, I just thought that this would be tight. Sort of a bit like the Australian Open semi-final that they had this year, where it was pretty tight. I think Coco was serving for the first set in that particular match, but unfortunately she couldn't hold serve. And then once Aryna took the tiebreak, kind of just always had the edge. It was not much more than an edge, but it was enough to win that match in straight sets. And I probably sort of was feeling a similar vibe today, but also it's quite, I mean, 5-5, the head-to-head, it's fair. It really is close between these. So it's funny because we look at the 12-2 that it now is with Iga, and you know, a completely off-color Iga, and I think Coco is playing maybe the best tennis I've ever seen her play. Maybe even better than she was in the North American swing from last year. And yet I still go into that match despite the conditions as well, just thinking, well, it has to be. I mean, it has to be Iga, right? But it wasn't, of course, and she did win that match. But that dynamic anyway, either way, that dynamic is very different to the Coco Aryna dynamic. And yet Aryna's standing in the game is almost up there with Iga's. I mean, it's not quite as many weeks at number one, but it's almost there. And it's on the hard court, it's probably a bigger standing in the game. In fact, definitely a bigger standing in the game. So another comfortable hold, though, it does materialize itself for Aryna Sabalenka, as I went off at a slight tangent. But yeah, this match is tight. And yet when she comes up against someone of equal pedigree, let's argue, in Iga Swiatek, it's a very different feeling. But matchups, hey?
It is matchups. I mean, that's not part of the reason why. Oh, that's a poor smash attempt by Gauff there. Just flims it on the frame of the racket. But no, like you say, it is a case of matchups, and the matchups with the matchup with what was Gauff Iga is seen as so immense in terms of it being such a positive for Iga that, you know, as you say, any surface, any time, you back Iga to get that victory, just and because of how the matches have gone previously. But then with this one, it's all about it's just all about it being a bit more even and a bit more about who's playing better at the time. As just getting into a cross court down the line, just out though from Sabalenka there. Probably slightly feels that she could have an opportunity here.
Here we go. Nick has tweeted, Kim Win-Zheng is indeed a top 5 player. Has been more than a match for everyone except Sabalenka recently, and today against Krejcikova confirmed it. Indeed. I don't know what you were doing just then, but there was an interesting like you were changing the radio station.
I've got like a cover of a thing that I put on the screen to hide the score, because the score's usually a little bit in front. It's almost like I don't want to see a spoiler.
Okay. Yeah.
Hence the reason you had like a spoiler, because he said, a tweet from Nick. So I was like, all right, what's he tweeted?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, back again.
I mean, when I'm on my own, it's pretty easy. I can keep my eyes away from the score, because sometimes the score might be it often is a few seconds ahead of me, depending on what tournament, depends on what feed, depends on how Google's behaving that particular day. I mean, I'll give an example. During Wimbledon, I'm in fact during the slams, I think I'm either on a pace or even ahead of the game, if you like. It's the other tournaments the rest of the year where I'm using this slow sports option.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm behind. But yeah, Jordan, I'm on my own. It's a big deal. But when I'm with someone else, I kind of have to have my sort of eyes on the screen from time to time. So that's where I see the scoreboard.
Yeah, Wimbledon. I'm usually because I usually use the normal TV. Like I go back to the classic, from the actual TV out the aerial cable. So that one I am on time, but usually then with the normal tour, usually a bit behind when it comes to.
Sorry, that Coco backhand into the net. It was a difficult one to bend down for. To be fair, Sabalenka was on the defense.
It was.
Sabalenka was one having to bend down, but go on.
And yeah, and now Swiatek, we talked about her. Sabalenka has got a break, and she's going to be coming out to serve for the set.
From nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere.
Forced the error that time.
Are we now
on the
looking?
side. Yeah,
we are now looking at potentially Sabalenka getting this set bagged up. Yikes!
Yeah, Gauff.
Like I said, with the slams for the French and the Australian, when I have to go through Eurosport on Discovery Plus, that tends to be fairly slow, and then Sky tends. I really wish one or two of those slams would just get some of the company would buy the rights off Eurosport. It's horrible at times.
Listen, I'm not living in the UK and haven't done for many years, but I probably still think Amazon probably did a better job than Sky Sports.
Yeah, Amazon did a fantastic job with the US Open. I mean, okay, granted, I know the big thing is no ads, which has been quite key, but the access, the access to all the courts, the presenters that they had, the fact that they were, it felt like a really complete, solid package in the modern age.
Nerlan, I've got one thing to ask you. Where the hell have you been? We were talking about you earlier during the previous stream. Where the hell have you been? I'm using these exact words, by the way, James, because Nerlan he comes out with some very funny turns of question, but often it involves where the hell or what the hell, Anyway, yes, Nerlan is also a football fan as well as tennis.
Well, we won yesterday, which was our first win in the Europa League for the season.
I know, I saw that 2-0, yeah.
And bizarrely, actually, we're not too far off potentially getting into the top 8, so we can get a bye to the second round.
Okay, I'm so confused with I haven't checked the table, to be honest with you. We've still got a couple more games to play, right?
We've got 4
more games. So it's 8 games, I think, in total.
Yes, I think the whole purpose is that everyone plays 8 games. Everyone's in a big table, and then those in the top, those that finish in the top 8, effectively go straight through to the round of 16, and then those in the from 9 down to 24, they get put into the round of 32. And then they play each other to then play somebody who's in the round of 16. So it's a bit like in tennis with seeding. Getting into the top 8 gets you the top 8 seeded slots. That gets you a bye to the second round.
Yeah. So talking of Erik ten Hag, by the way, Nerlan, and it's perfect because Nerlan. I'm not sure if
what is she doing there?
Oh, you talking about the forehand from Sabalenka or point after that?
Forehand from Sabalenka. Gee, man, weep. Yeah.
Just gone land. She's looking the same. But yeah, Nerlan, who at least resides in Turkey, maybe he's from Turkey as well. Look, Erik ten Hag, he's been over to Turkey, hasn't he? He's been to Turkey, Nerlan. He's been to get a hair job and teeth job now. You see, he's all fixed up. So maybe you've seen him roaming the streets of Istanbul. I don't know.
Trying to see if any of the Turkish teams will take him on for a year.
Oh, by the way, the forehand from Sabalenka. And we've got a break point for Coco Gauff here. Again, almost from nowhere. I mean, again, Sabalenka was looking okay on serve. I think she was at least 30-15. It might have been 30 low. I'm not sure. And now all of a sudden, a couple of loose forehands and boom. Ooh. Oh, Aryna does a Coco and dumps it into the net. And we are going to a tiebreak.
Nobody wants this set.
Nerlan, I just knew you would respond LOL. I knew it. That's how well I know you. I knew he'd say lol. I knew it. Right, here we go. Tiebreak time.
Tiebreak time. First point goes to Gauff.
Okay. Over to you, Aryna. Nerlan, who do you support, by the way? Which is your football team? I'm guessing one of Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Galatasaray.
Score into the net from Sabalenka, 2-0 to Gauff so far.
Yeah, 2-0. Got football on the brain.
Yeah. It's a bit like a penalty. You've got a penalty shootout here.
Sometimes I go to a different screen, like I'm now on just looking at Twitter, so I can still hear you and I can still watch the match. But I can just sort of browse Twitter in the meantime. I'm not looking at the score on the screen.
Score up the tee. Backhand down the line from Gauff. Sabalenka just about gets it 3-0.
She's annoyed, Sabalenka, isn't she?
3-0. That's both service points on her serve that she's just lost. Chance here for Gauff if she's able to consolidate certainly at least one of these points to really take a strong foothold in this set, in a service game. Service game in this tiebreaker. That's the word I'm trying to find. Oh, just an abandoned ball toss.
First time ever in the 54-year history of the end-of-year championship for the men. There's no one with a two-hander. Go on, what were you going to say?
No one with a two-hander?
In the men's... no one with a one-hander, sorry.
I was about to say.
Well, that would be a transformation. Maybe in 54 years. Maybe in 54 years, that'll be the case.
Yeah, that is a good point. There is nobody with a one-handed backhand. Because Steph Tsitsipas met that criteria for a number of years.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the first time in 5 years that he's not going to be at the champ. He's not going to be in the event.
Yeah, I remember conversation a year ago. He's had an ace from.
It's almost as if
full love.
It's almost as if there's a major changing of the guard taking place in men's tennis at the moment. The entitled next gen lot, as they would have been called on Twitter. So well, so they're entitled, but it's just they're almost becoming the next lost gen along with the Grigors generation.
Lost gen, you mean Zverev, Tsitsipas, kind of Medvedev, kind of team? That one, you mean?
I mean, team is a hard one to put into that next gen category, really.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, true. But there was he's a
bit more closer to Grigor's than Grigor and Raonic's generation than he was to the Medvedev generation. But that next gen lot, you count from like Medvedev, Zverev, Tsitsipas, Rublev, Fritz to a degree maybe as well. That they're very much starting to be. It's one of those weird things where actually, if we had a tournament this year where when in the WTA they had that 9 to 16 tournament the week before the women's tour finals.
Yeah. The elite.
If we had that actually could if we had a similar thing for the men this year, that could have actually been a really exciting one. Seeing how like Mazzetti and Thies and Draper and all those lot actually end up fighting off against each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember a year ago, Damien and I chatting about who might slip out of the sort of the 8 from the ATP Tour finals. I think although we saw Tsitsipas on a bit of a slide, I think we were probably thinking Rublev might be someone who would drop out, because I don't think Casper Ruud made it a year ago.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
Did he? Ruud was there last year?
Ruud was there last year, yeah.
Oh.
I know he made the group stages.
He made the final in 2022, of course.
It's a weird one because it's at altitude. It actually ends up playing with really high bouncing balls, and it's actually conditions Ruud loves. It's the one hard court tournament a year he can play really well at.
So one of the set points has come and gone for Gauff. She had a 6-1 advantage, but it's now back to 6-2.
Oh, now 6-3.
Let us know in the live chat.
It'd be an interesting topic to actually talk about. Who do we think's going to fall out this year, and who do we
I think there's just so many vulnerable ones this year that Rublev, the basically not Zverev, not Sinner, not Alcaraz, but the rest. I can see Dimonor coming and going from this top 8 group. Fritz the same. Medvedev is obviously, in the worst form since 2018. Medvedev, so it's sort of 6 years we haven't seen this sort of level, if you like. I mean, he's there on merit, but he's not won a title, of course, since May of last year.
No, it just feels weird. Even when he had that a bit of a bad year in 22, he at least was able to turn it around at the back end of the year to pick up some titles.
6-4 now. 6-4. Sorry.
Yeah.
And another one to save on Sabalenka's serve. So save this, and it's over to you.
Sabalenka just hit a ball. Sabalenka just hit a ball long and then ended up whacking the ball in the net, and Coco kind of reacted as though she was about to get hit by the ball.
Okay.
But no. So that is Coco Gauff.
She should have won this point. Set. She should have won that, and that's why she's so annoyed. I can see the way Coco's reacted, yeah, but she's so annoyed because she had such an easy +1 there. And she's just, as I say, cutting a frustrated figure, really. Of course, she was serving for the set and was up on her service game, but that slipped away. The Tupperware is out for Coco.
Yeah, but so who do you think could end up going as I think Sabalenka's left the court? Who do you think could go into the top 8 next year?
Okay, let's have a quick look at you're talking about ATP, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do the WTA as well because it's quite fun to work out who.
Yeah, sure. I agree. I think it's a good exercise. So what I'm going to do, of course, is what many people would do when they're faced with this question, is you then start going down the rankings. And who do I see? I know who you would like me to say. And I will say this. Before I elaborate on that, which I can elaborate on, I would say a year ago, I think it was Damien and I threw out this question. I said, would it be crazy for Jack Draper or Lorenzo Musetti to be an alternate in Turin next year? It was almost like just saying, look, I don't think they're top 8, but, they could end up in the race, having a phenomenal year and being 9, 10, 11, if you like, and being a potential alternate for Turin. And if so, which one? And I think both of us kind of went for Draper at the time. It was a stretch. And of course, he's had a phenomenal year, but it was still a stretch too far. But he wasn't far away from being an alternate this year. But it wasn't like we were both saying, yeah, Jack Draper's going to be an alternate. But I just thought, random question. Anyway, in terms of, I think Hurkacz really could easily come back, and same with Tsitsipas, and same with Rune. But I think you're looking for a sort of a newbie, right? Who am I going to back?
Yeah,
probably Feast. I would back over Draper right now.
Really?
You're not happy with that, are you? Go on then. Let's hear what you've got to say.
Oh no, just I don't think Feast has the consistency yet to be able to do it throughout throughout the year.
Not right now, but that's part of the game, isn't it? Who's going to be
it is
more consistent next year?
I mean,
you want me to say Draper, right?
Of course, I want to say Draper. I think Draper will get in next year. I think he's good enough to do so. I think a lot of people underwrite him a lot of the time still, mainly because I think he's British, and I think people don't want to back a Brit to do well.
Shelton, by the way, as well. I'd probably even put Shelton above Peace.
I would say I think there'll be a lot of change next year. I don't think we'll have. I think a lot of those players are going to have to enjoy the last year in Turin. I look at Ruud. I look at Rublev. I look at Djokovic.
Turin's last year. Hasn't Turin extended, or have I got that wrong?
No. I mean, in terms of those players being at Turin, this is the last time they're going to enjoy being there. That's not going to be on a leisure holiday. So I just think that, looking at it, I think Medvedev I think he can just about do it, but I think he could be in trouble. I think Djokovic won't be able to do it he won't do it next year, and I don't think he'll be high enough in the ranking next year to be able to do it. Ruud, I don't think will be there, or Rublev. So I could see 4 spaces opening up for Turin next year, and I think those 4 players. I don't see Tsitsipas doing it. I just see him still slipping down the rankings even further. I think a lot of it's just down to a lot of sentimentality to what sort of player he could have been a few years ago, and him being there, a bit of regularity in the recent years. But there's better players coming up the ranks who know how to beat him and are beating him regularly for him not to. And not seeing any progression in him to be able to then to do it. So I don't see Tsitsipas making it. Ruud, I could see Ruud doing it. For me, and as you say, Hurkacz has got a game that certainly is very consistent when it's on.
If he wasn't injured for half the season or for large parts of the second half of the season, I think he would have made it this year. I mean,
I mean, for me, if I was to put players in there, I would certainly go and put, like I said, Draper would be one of the players I put in there. I certainly would probably put Hurkacz back in there. Musetti and Artefis would be the players that I would pick.
I get your thoughts on Musetti. So let's say 4. Let's say, because I think 4 wouldn't surprise me. Medvedev might be one of the 4, but he might not be. I think there's 5 vulnerable, as I said. But let's assume one of those vulnerable ones remains. And therefore, I'm going to pick 4. And I'm going to go with. It's funny that Rune is still 11 in the world, bearing in mind it's kind of been not a great year for him. I'm going to go with Hurkacz, Shelton, Feast, and I'm going to go Tsitsipas.
You're going Tsitsipas.
Yeah. You're not happy. Listen, let me tell you this. Let me just try and appease you a little bit by saying to you this. A week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a live stream with Jack and not Jack Draper, Jack Edward, and Damien, and they were talking about Jack Draper's sort of peak or ceiling, if you like. And I think top 5 is there at some point in his career. And both of them were like, no, not sure about. They were top 10. They were okay with that, but not top 5. And I'm okay with saying he could reach world number 5 at some point in his career. You're giving me 10 years for him to reach world number 5. I'm here for it. But you push me on this. If Jack Draper's in that World Tour finals next year, will I be surprised? Absolutely not. Do I think he's got a 1 in 3 shot, for example? Yeah, that makes sense to me. Do I think it's greater than 50-50 that he'll be there? Probably not. That's why I'm going for those other guys.
I mean, I'm not adverse to you not putting Jack in there, because I could see maybe certainly picking maybe like a Musetti or a Feast or whatever over that.
Yeah.
It's just more your decision to put Tsitsipas in there.
I'm not a Tsitsipas preacher. I'm not a Tsitsipas preacher at all.
I just don't get the faith that Tsitsipas is somehow going to become a great player, going to become one of the best players in the world again.
He's still, for 10 months of the year, he's on a pretty comfortable surface for him, whether it be indoor hard, outdoor hard, or clay. He didn't win Monte Carlo this year. Did he win Monte Carlo this year? Oh, he did win Monte Carlo this year, didn't he, actually? Beat Casper Ruud in the final.
He did, but interestingly, if he didn't win Monte Carlo, he'd be outside the top 20. That one result, that one Masters, has saved his season.
as it has done on maybe a couple of occasions in recent years. But he didn't do any
in other
great
seasons,
things.
he could afford not to win Monte Carlo, and he would still be in the top 10 quite comfortably. This season, he's just holding on to top 20 by one big result, whereas everyone else in there has got multiple results in multiple different tournaments.
Ooh, Sabalenka there. She's held serve, but she is so annoyed right now. She's making Sofia Kenin look calm in the sort of, she's just a sort of, Kenin was winning points and smashing balls, and she's just done so there. She's just annoyed with her level. And I think she's annoyed with her level. Of course, she's annoyed with how that previous set slipped away. But for 80% of this match, maybe even 90%, Sabalenka's been way off it, despite the fact it's so close on the scoreboard.
Right, then moving on.
0 aces.
We've just given our list. What's that?
Sorry. 0 aces from Sabalenka in that first set.
Ah, cool. No, I'm saying, so moving on. So in the women's one, so into WTA, who do you think is safe? Who's definitely going to be there next year?
So Iga, Aryna, Coco. It feels a bit more solid on the women's side. I'm going to have a look at the rankings now. I'll share a picture on the screen for some stats from the first set as well. Just give me a second. My slow internet, almost as slow as there we go. I'll share this while I have a look at the WTA ranking. So I think Iga, Coco, and Aryna will be pretty safe. Qin Wen, you would think, should be pretty safe. Then it comes into a sort of, Rybakina is in that area of she should be, if she's fit. I mean, she's missed half of this year. And when I say half of the year, I'm including her entering tournaments and then withdrawing. And yet there she lies at number 5 in the world. And very close to number 3 in the world coming into this tournament. So, yeah, I'm going to back Rybakina, new coach. Hopefully she plays lots of tennis. If she plays tennis, then she's easily in the top 8 in the world, in the world, but also for the race. So then I'm thinking Paulini, Krejcikova, those two I would suggest are the most vulnerable. Pegula, yeah, no, she should be all right for another year, I think. So it's those two. What about you?
I would say, yeah, those two are the ones in which have the potential to be in trouble. You would say maybe 2 slots to open up for next year. I would tend to agree.
Another Slam, it's quite Chica to win another Slam in her career. Well, I didn't think she'd win more than 1, but here we are. She's won 2.
Yeah.
But I don't. Listen, Krejcikova, I was backing her big style about 18 months ago, and I kept backing her, and she's going to have a good run here. She's going to win this tournament. And I think with the odd exception, I was generally made to look a fool, if you like. But she would like to be more consistent, as she highlighted in a Twitter response today on Twitter or on X. But whether she's going to be consistent enough to make the top 8 next year, I'm not so sure. So her and Paulini, the vulnerable ones, and the 2 newbies. Now that's a tricky one. I'm looking at sort of 11.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just talk through my thought process while you're having a look.
Go on.
For me, I'm looking at 3 names of 3 people that could go in, and that would either be Badosa, Schneider, or Andreeva.
Oh, okay. You did. I thought Mukova might be in your 3.
Or Mukova as well. Sorry, I'm not seeing on my list. Yeah, Mukova. Mukova as well. And those are the 4 names.
I'm going to go Andreeva. So I'm going to pick 2 because I'm going to have 2 to come out and 2 to come in. I'm going to go Andreeva.
Yeah, I probably would go.
If she can stay fit, Mukova.
I'll differ from you from Mukova. I'm going to say Badosa.
Yeah.
I just think with the type of tennis we saw certainly in the second half of this year from Badosa, I think she's got a route back to the top 10 and deep into the top 10 as well. So there we go. There's the people we're going to have going in and coming out.
Let's have a quick look at the live chat. Maybe there's been some thoughts here. Stefanos here. John, what do you usually eat in the mornings? is the tea part of it. No, Nurlan, tea rarely features in my diet. Not that I don't like tea. It's just the fact that, I love, good English or British tea, if you like, or English breakfast tea. But I tend to save it for when I'm in the UK. I do drink tea every now and again, maybe in the evening, but like a green tea or herbal tea. Stefanov is going to join a band and go on a jazz exploration tour, suggests Dave. You think he might have a bit more success doing that next year, James?
Well, probably more success in his tennis career next year, most likely. No, I don't think it's more one of those things in terms of I'm just not seeing any. I'm just seeing stagnation from Steph, and I don't see a route for him to get back in. Certainly to Turin. Certainly, I think he'll do well next year to hold on to a top 20 ranking. Never mind getting to Turin.
Double fault from Aryna has put her in a spot on bother, but she's now got back to 15-30. And Coco's going to change her racket.
But yeah, it's Coco, good backhand by Aryna. Oh, just took it away from Coco there.
Barbora Krejcikova excited to get her post-season holiday trip on the way. Okay, that's from her press conference, I guess.
Well, she can still feel very pleased with how this tournament's gone. I mean, not in her wildest dreams did you think she'd get out the group, given the form that she was bringing in.
Some people seem to be pretty outraged on Twitter. I posted the stats. And if the stats are accurate, and they might not be, there were a lot of errors in that set, put it that way. Unforced errors.
Maybe it's one of those perceptions because it was a tight set between two very good players that people just can't imagine.
I do think the level, particularly from Aryna, was off though. And she's got a break point hit as well.
Oh, but Coco just split step there. Split step went wrong.
I tell you what, I did not have a Coco Gauff Qin Zheng final on my bingo card, that's for sure. I did have a Qin Zheng making it out of the group, but I think I had her losing to Iga in the semis.
Yeah, I had Iga getting out of her group. I was quite surprised that she didn't get out, and because of the weird system of how the groups work, Iga still wins 2 matches out of the 3 and doesn't get through to the semis.
That was a defiant backhand winner there from Sabalenka when she looked a little bit out of the point at one point, and she gets it back to deuce. I'm going to be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. So we just got advantage here for Gauff. She's looking here to get a break. To get a break up in the second. Go down the line by Iga, but it's just slightly wide, so it's just a second serve. Up in the air by backhand by backhand into the net though by Sabalenka. So Gauff goes the early break up in the second set. If she can hold from here, she will be in the final. Has the set, has the break, looking good at the moment. Of course, we have seen a lot in the second set. We saw a lot of times that they broke, and then the other player broke straight away. So there's still a long way to go. But Coco Gauff is in a commanding position at the moment. Wow, it looks like we may get a Qin Zheng Coco Gauff final tomorrow. Who would have thought of that? The WTA finals does tend to throw up some surprise finalists. Nobody imagined 2 years or 3 years ago in Guadalajara when Gabriela Muguruza was able to go on and win the title. And then a year later, when Caroline Garcia won it, although the top 8 players still great, they weren't really the big names that were expecting to win it. This could be a somewhat similar, an outsider and a high name final as well. And just to give some score updates, whilst anyone's interested as well. Mickelson took the first set 6-4, but lost the second set 6-love. And it's currently 2-1 to Bonzi on serve in the second set. At the moment, Mickelson can't serve. He's got some sort of abdominal issue and is going for drop shots a lot. Yeah, he can't serve at the moment. Mickelson's got a real problem. It may be a case that if Bonzi does get a break, Mickelson may end up having to retire from that match. Backhand by Coco straight down the line, it was like one of those skimming stuff. What do you call it? When you skim stones on the water, and it like boom, boom, boom. Just the way she was so low and then got it over and got it gone. Oh, great one. Straight to the feet of Sabalenka, who couldn't get it over the net. So 30-love. It's looking a bit like Coco may be able to hold on here. Will at least be the first time that any of the players has been able to consolidate their breaks. She's looking in a good position for it. Skipping rocks. There we go. So thank you, Super Dave. Goes down the tee, backhand by Sabalenka, just goes into the tram lines. 40-love. Coco here, 1 point away from a 3-1 lead. Goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka. Just clips the top of the net, now bounces out from Coco there. So no luck for her. Cross court, forehand by Sabalenka into the net, and there we go. 3-1. Halfway home at the moment for Coco Gauff. The potential is there for her to reach the final. She just needs to hold on to potentially 3 more serves or try and get another break off the Sabalenka one. The potential is there. Goes cross court from Sabalenka, just goes out, so second serve. Goes into the net, double fault. Sabalenka, some worries there. She's going to go change her racket. That was a double fault, so love 15 here. Love 15. Up in the air, goes cross court, backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka. Just going backhand exchanges at the moment. Out by Sabalenka. It is like a red mist has descended over her head. Does not know where to put the ball or how to deal with Coco at the moment. In these sorts of situations, it's kind of imperative for Coco to take as much as she can, get as far as she can ahead of Sabalenka while she's struggling at the moment. lob up in the air from Coco. Forehand cross court by Sabalenka, and it is wild. It is wild. Love 40. It is unraveling. It is all unraveling, and a potential chance here for Coco Gauff to go a double break up. She has 3 chances to go a double break up in this match, to go 4-1, and potentially at that stage you could say, being pretty much we could call it, but we'd say that Gauff would be the favourite at that stage to win the match. Goes cross court, sliced by Aryna, down the T-bow thingy, up cross court. Oh, just about gets it. What a get from Coco. She is all over that net, and it is 4-1. It is 4-1. People are celebrating in the stands. Yikes! Right, it looks as though this set is not going like the first set in terms of it being quite tight. This is a brutal one at the moment. Coco is just locked in, getting some of her treats. I'll say treats. Her what do you call it? Her fruit salad type thingy that she has in that awesome little bowl. 2 more games away. Double break at the moment. It's looking positive for Coco. If you're a Coco fan right now, you'd be very happy. Right. What we're saying, Super Dave, you're saying in the chat, Sabalenka wants this pretty bad to prove her #1 ranking worthiness, probably making her extra tight. Probably could do. She certainly would want to get the. It certainly could do. You're certainly right on that one. I could be making her slightly tight in these situations. But Coco Gauff here, though, is doing what she needs to do at this stage, which is play loose, play free, and go and really and getting as far ahead of Sabalenka as possible before potentially Sabalenka may return to almost her senses, you could say, to try and to being a tough player to get past. Into the net there by Sabalenka on the first point. Really poor attempt on the return. It is gone. The mind is gone, and she is not happy. 15 love. Goes into the net though there by Coco. Oh, just skims across there. We've got a second serve here. Second serve. Let call there for a second serve. Down the tee there though by Sabalenka, perfectly placed. So 15 also. The danger ain't over yet. The danger is not over yet. Coco, if you're a Coco fan, you want to stay locked in at the moment, not to give too many mistakes away. Try and make as many first serves as you can. Keeps getting let chords at the moment, which ain't helpful. Goes cross court, just goes out there, so that is a second serve. So just Coco not finding a range at the moment in this service game. Ball toss. Maybe the nerves to know how close she is to that final. Maybe just playing in her a bit. Goes up the line. Tries to be clever at the net. Doesn't work out. So Sabalenka is 15-30. 15-30. Goes up the line. Perfect up the line there from Coco. Makes it 30 all. Perfect up the line. Goes cross court, forehand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco. Just about comes with Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco, long, and that then gives a break point chance to Sabalenka. Break point for Sabalenka. Coco goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka. Coco comes up the court, goes cross court. Sabalenka just about gets to it. Backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, going all up the line by Coco. Cross court by Sabalenka, up the line by Coco. Sabalenka goes cross court again. Coco's trying to stretch to everything. Slice into the net. She slices into the net. She was in control, Sabalenka, and she slices it into the net. And we are to deuce. Bit of a saviour light there potentially for Coco. Sabalenka realistically in that point should have won it. She was on top of the point. She was going for the killer blow. But the killer blow bounced back at her. Rebounded. That's the word. Rebounded back from the net. So it is deuce here. So a chance here for Coco to get that 5-1 lead. But Aryna is very much on her case. Coco tries to go up the tee. There's no luck on that one. Goes across court. Forehand by Sabalenka. Forehand by Coco, but into the bottom of the net. Brilliant return there from Sabalenka. Advantage to Sabalenka at the moment. Okay, Coco into the net on the first serve. Second serve here. Just about gets it in. Slice from Coco. Slice by Sabalenka. Up the cross court by Coco. Cross court by Sabalenka. Cross court by Coco. Jump attack by Sabalenka. Backhand by Coco. Oh, out by Sabalenka. She's doing all she can at the moment, but she just cannot get over the line. Doing all she can. 40 all, deuce again. This could potentially turn out to be quite a pivotal service game here of who can get it. So Coco into the air, goes cross court, slice from Sabalenka, cross court again by Coco, cross court by Sabalenka, up the line by Coco, just about lands out. It lands out. It's just literally by millimeters. Yeah, literally by millimeters. If it just landed a bit sooner, it would have been okay. Up the tee, back forehand by Sabalenka, cross court by Coco, cross court by Sabalenka, cross up the line by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco, slice by Sabalenka. Coco just about gets to it. Sabalenka goes cross court, but she cross courts it into the net. She just cannot do it. When the killer blow is there, she is not taking it at all. That's the third break point that she squandered either into the net or long. Better be careful when she's throwing the racket. She could end up hitting someone. Goes line. Forehand by Coco, goes long again. She's just not able to get to advantage on her own serve at the moment. Fourth chance here for Sabalenka. Coco goes in the middle. Backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, forehand by Sabalenka. And of course, as the pattern of this game goes, she ends up badly hitting it long or wide in this case. So we're back to deuce. Determined Coco is to hold. like every fiber of the being. Coco in the air, goes cross court, forehand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco, out again. Maybe she should stop trying to go cross court or the going out wide on the juice side. Sabalenka's just reading it like a book at the moment. It's causing Coco problems. Is the 5th break point. And again, Sabalenka hits it long. She's not paying off for Sabalenka at the moment. Sabalenka's giving Coco so many chances, and these chances could run out. But as Super Dave was pointing out, it is a situation where you would say this has to be the game that Sabalenka needs to win. She loses this game, it will probably then be curtains. Coco goes up the line, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, forehand by Sabalenka, and it's a perfect winner of a forehand. Is Coco just become too passive? He's not taking control of these points at all anymore. So the 6th break point. Coco goes up the line, forehand. Oh, perfect save there by Coco. Brilliant serve down the tee. Sabalenka unable to get any proper connection with a racket onto it. And guess what? We're back to deuce. We're back to deuce. No, but she hits the net with the first serve there, Coco. At this stage, I'll say throw in an underarm. Let's change it up a bit. Oh, gets it. Sabalenka with backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco. Long. 7th break.
And James, as well, I've just joined to say I have to leave you, but fingers crossed this game finishes before tomorrow's final.
Saying that it's 10 minutes at the moment. It's breakpoint Sabalenka juice. Breakpoint Sabalenka juice. Breakpoint Sabalenka juice.
If you need a break, by the way, and you probably won't if it finishes 6-1 or 5-1 or 6-2, to just use one of the buttons on the side. One of these, like while it's a break in play or whatever.
No worries. See you later on, John.
You'll probably be okay because who knows? This game is nuts.
Yeah. Yep, and then there we go. Juice again. Right, we're here to the end, and God knows when that end's going to be. Right, Coco goes into the net. 7th juice we're on at the moment. Goes down the tee, back forehand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco. Sabalenka comes to the net and goes cross court. And of course, gets the 8th break point. It just ain't happening. And then cross court, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, forehand cross court by Coco, forehand by Sabalenka, up in the air from Coco. It lands long, and Sabalenka finally gets the break. On the 8th time of asking, she gets the break secured. She takes it back to it just being a single break lead for Coco Gauff. I'm sure Coco will be kicking herself. She'll be hoping to have got that properly sorted. And a presto there. Nuran, you're saying, James, have you ever encountered with a tiger in the public? I have not. The closest thing to a tiger I've got in around where I live is the neighbor's cat. And that just looks at you funnily. Cross court, forehand by Coco, forehand by Sabalenka, forehand by Coco, down the line by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco. Oh, what a beautiful backhand. Love 15. Coco's like, right, I'm getting the break back here. She is like, I am determined to get this break back. Sabalenka goes cross court. Backhand from Coco. Backhand by Sabalenka. Forehand by Coco. Oh, but into the net from Sabalenka. Love 30. Just wildly swinging at it from Sabalenka. Saying to herself, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Okay, Sabalenka goes cross court. Forehand from Coco. Oh, wide from Sabalenka. Love 40. And the racket's on the floor from Sabalenka. James meant. Don't worry, I'm not trying to use Daniel Medvedev expressions. Okay. Sabalenka goes down the tee, forehand from Coco, but it was long from the first serve anyway. Sabalenka goes down the tee, forehand from Coco, right deep, right well, up the line, backhand from Sabalenka, forehand from Coco, forehand from Sabalenka, forehand from Coco, cross court, wide, and there we go. The double break back is secured. The double break back is secured. And Coco Gauff is one game away from a place in the final. She's now, after this break, she's going to come back, going to come out to serve for the match. As we saw on the basis of the last service game, that may be quite difficult. It could be incredibly difficult. It certainly could be very difficult indeed. What's happened to Jane one day? Oh, he won. Excellent. Good work, Jonah. So will he do it? Put in the chat, everyone. Do you think he will do it? What do we think he will do it? So do we think she will do it? Coco Gauff to see it out 6-2 in the last set. Or in the second set. Will it happen? So she's coming up to the board now. Goes cross court, forehand from Sabalenka, forehand from Coco. Sabalenka comes forward, goes for the drop shot. Coco gets to it, goes to that, which is over. But the Sabalenka reads it very well. So that is love 15. Not the start Coco would have wanted. She could have looked potentially good in that point. Hello, John, again.
Sorry, I've got some breaking news. It's talking tennis related rather than tennis itself. Mario is going to join you as soon as the last point happens, basically, and he'll give you two can sort of talk 3 minutes about this match, 3 minutes about tomorrow's final, and jobs are good, if that makes sense.
Wicked. Could be in a bit. We could see Mario. Cross court there, forehand from Coco, cross court, but that is wild. So that is love 30. Coco, it's just nobody's holding serve at the moment. Down on T, backhand from Coco, but that was a second. Needs to be a second serve. It's not locking. It's not locking in at the moment. It's not locking in. Into the net there. Is this going to happen? Forehand from Sabalenka, backhand from Coco, slice from Sabalenka into the net. The point is on the board. Got to be a double fault coming. It feels super Dave. It feels like one of those situations it could be a double fault. We could potentially have one. Goes down, attempt to go down the tee there by Coco, just goes into the net. Goes cross court, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand by Coco, backhand by Sabalenka, backhand down the line by Coco, up in the air. Oh, but it was long from Coco. So that is 40-15 or 15-40 to Sabalenka. 2 break points for the Belarusian, as we said. I've done that water. I'm on to the next water. Don't see backhand from Sabalenka goes wide. So that saves the first of the break points. First, the break points are saved. Okay, Coco into the air, goes cross court, backhand from Sabalenka, backhand from Coco, up the line by Sabalenka, cross court from Coco, but it's wide, and that is the break secured for Sabalenka. So we've had what feels like 4 breaks in a row against each other, and it now means that break, the percentage chance from Coco is down to 1. Sabalenka at the moment serving now to make it 4, to make it 5-4 potential. But if Coco is able to get the break here, like she has done on the Sabalenka serve the last 3 or 4 times, then she will win the match. Okay, Sabalenka in the air, goes cross court, forehand from Coco, backhand from Sabalenka into the net, and what a start for the top seed. Love 15. Okay, ball into the air, goes cross court, backhand up in the air from Coco. Sabalenka comes forward. Does that go long, or was that in? I think that was in. It was in. It was just in. It was cross court, but it was very close to the line. It was incredibly close to the line. Okay, into the air goes the ball. She goes up the line, up in the air from Coco. Just lands, and it just lands in on her side. So it's now 30-15 to Sabalenka. This is turning into a bit more of a comfortable service game. Certainly turning into a bit more of a comfortable service game. Just go slightly long there with the second serve. Ouch. Let's see if Sabalenka can get an easy hold from here. Backhand from Coco, backhand from Sabalenka, backhand from Coco, backhand from Sabalenka. Bit of shape there from Coco. It's long there from Sabalenka, and we're at 30 all. Coco senses her opportunity to potentially strike. She senses an opportunity. Is it gonna come? 30 all at the moment. So Sabalenka, ball in the air, goes across the court, but a lot that goes wide. So I've got a second serve here. Second serve. Goes cross court. Forehand from Coco. Backhand from Sabalenka. Long. It goes long. So we have a match point for Coco Gauff. Match point for Coco Gauff here. Okay, Sabalenka getting herself sorted. Okay, ball in the air. Goes cross court. Backhand from Coco. Forehand from Sabalenka. Forehand from Coco. Backhand from Sabalenka into the net. And there we go. Coco Gauff is through to the final of the WTA WTA finals in 2024. She will be taking on Queen Wen-Zhang in that final that will be taking place tomorrow after, well, what was certainly a nervy, bitty, all sortsy sort of ending that you could say to that match. And wow, what a contest that was. And we should hopefully have a Mario entering the room at any given point for that. And here he is. Hey, Mario.
Hi. How's it going?
It is going good. How's it going for you?
Quite okay, I have to say. Been enjoying it. It's been quite a roller coaster of a match, actually. And yeah, I mean, what to say? I mean, it's not probably so surprising that we got this final. I mean, considering also the form these two players are in. And, well, I've seen the match. I mean, Sabalenka has looked a little bit tired also, maybe, in these couple of last matches that she played here at the WTA finals. Wasn't really, brilliant as, she's been in, we've been used to seeing her being in the last, 3-4 months. But yeah, I mean, it's also been a great performance from Coco Gauff, who's really, turning the tables around this year, because after the US Open, I mean, her season was still going, much better than most of the players, but considering the expectations, it was going, not as good as many people could have thought at the end of last year. But well, with these results, winning the WTA 1000, now the final, I mean, Coco is always a pretty tough matchup for Sabalenka. I don't know if you agree also, because, if there's probably one thing that Coco can do probably better than anybody else on the tour is, this ability that she's also shown today of staying in the rally so much. She's so, athletic. She incredible in, also absorbing Sabalenka's power, and not many players are able to do it. I think nobody, almost, especially in these kind of conditions, while Coco, has this unbelievably able to do all what she knows in order to put Sabalenka into a difficult position. And actually, beating both Iga and Aryna in the same tournament for her is actually such an amazing feat, because, first of all, it's, the first time it happens over the course of the same week. I mean, she beat Iga also during that incredible summer that she had, where she also beat Aryna in the US Open final. But yeah, I mean, Aryna, I think she was also probably a bit tired, because we've also seen this emotionally, she wasn't really ready to, I mean, she has put up a fight after that tough moment in the middle of the second set. She still has put up a fight, not wanting to let the match go. But my opinion is that she didn't have enough, to do this against a player like Coco, where you have to really, green, in an exceptional way.
No, I tend to agree that ability for, as you're saying at the start, the ability for her to be able to sort of soak up so much of the pressure that Sabalenka puts on you, and then to be able to redirect that in the way she has, you know, that incredible athletic ability. We saw there was a lot of points throughout that match that certainly normal players would have lost against Sabalenka, but Coco was just able to get her racket on it with some degree of control in those key points, you know, on those athletic ones. It's been a brilliant performance. I mean, do you take anything away from how kind of tense and how and how almost like bad it was at the end for Coco to be able to try and serve it out?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a tough, you know, situation to be in. I mean, I know that Coco won, for example, won a Grand Slam, so she has a lot of experience despite being so young. But still, I think after this kind of season that she's had, where, I mean, she will close the season as the world number 3, and that tells you a lot, talking about how good is the standard for her. But at the same time, you know, it's WTA finals. I think it's a great chance for her to probably, you know, getting closer to the expectation towards her season. I mean, she didn't get that second slam, you know, probably after last year, you know, that was maybe the main goal. Also, probably the expectations were pointing, you know, towards probably getting closer to a second slam. But I mean, winning the WTA finals, beating, you know, the best players in the world, because she's already beaten the 2 best players in the world, and now she gets to face who's probably the player of the moment, which is Qinwen Zheng. And so, yeah, I mean, of course, the pressure is a lot on her shoulders, that's for sure. It's probably also, I would say, a little bit different as a pressure, because it's not that she didn't have some during the 2023 North American swing, but it was kind of a fairy tale story, let's say. So, you know, also...
so almost sort of like swept up in the moment there as well, as you said, the story goes on.
Yes, exactly.
So just as you say, leading on to what you were just alluding to in terms of the final tomorrow, so we've got Qinwen Zheng, who is the 8th or the 7th seed in this, and then you've got Coco Gauff, who's the 3rd seed. Who are you backing to win, and why?
It's a tough call, because I still think Coco needs to do some kind of things a little bit better, because of the way, you know, Qinwen is serving, for example. You know, Sabalenka is a great server, but I think in this tournament it's a little bit easier to break Sabalenka's serve. At the same time, Sabalenka is probably a stronger return also compared to Qinwen. But I think that today Coco has got closer to the level she needs. You know, even against Iga, it's been a very good performance, but not, you know, for me today she did some things even better than what she did a couple of days ago. And I actually still think I would give Coco the edge, because Qinwen has got a lot of experience this year, have played this kind of matches. She won a gold medal, and we knew how much for her, you know, was important to do it. So it's not that she hasn't been under a lot of stress and pressure this year, but I think Coco has found something inside herself. You know, she's been back that version of herself that, regardless of on which level she's playing in that particular moment of the match, she stays there. I've seen her playing with such incredible, you know, composure and mental strength in this past few weeks. And even if, you know, Qinwen is playing at an unbelievable level and can absolutely win the match, and I won't be surprised if she does, but I probably think her moment needs to wait a little bit more. I still see Coco probably a bit more ready to take this win, because she will also, you know, I think Coco, I don't know if you agree with me, a totally different player compared to any other we have on tour actually right now. And, you know, facing her it's very, very tough challenge. You know, Aryna, for example, it's more about excelling in, you know, playing in some way that we are used to watch on the tour right now. While Coco, has this kind of ability to defend, but actually in this tournament, from the backhand side, for example, she's been absolutely flawless almost, and it was very difficult to hit on that side of the court against Coco because she was almost every time, ending up with a great shot, great depth. I think Kim Wen needs to serve unbelievably well, actually.
Cool. So you're going Coco in straights or in free?
I'm probably going with a close 2-setter. Won't be surprised if even it's something like 6-5. I don't know.
So you're going Coco. You're going Coco in straights. I'll probably would say Coco. I'm going to go Coco in free. I think Quinn Wen will be able to get a set somewhere over in the first or the second. But that's all good there because I see we've kind of run out of time at that point there. But thank you so much, Mario, for coming on and giving your thoughts on that match and how tomorrow's going. Thank you for that, and thank you everyone for joining. It's been great to have you all, and we'll see you. We'll probably certainly, one of us will see you tomorrow for the final between Coco Gauff and Qin Wen Zheng.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.